And so what we've done is we've tried to give you some possible tools by category, and then we're going to highlight just a few of them. We're not going to highlight all of them by any means, but just show you what the potential out there is.
Tools you use, like TELLEGAMI. Let's get started. What do you want to record?
So this is a brief example of how I use an app called TELLEGAMI. It's free, you can download on your phone. And so I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of cool, but now how do I go beyond this and ask myself, how can this be used in a class? There's a variety of ways in which I, as an instructor, could use it. And I just used it to introduce an activity. I gave myself a little bit longer hair. You can check, you can select from some avatars. You can change some colors. You can select the background. And here's the other cool thing: you can upload your own photos. POWTOONs. How many are familiar with POWTOON? The word "toon" is in there, so you get the idea. It's about cartoons, and it's a tool that allows you to create a short video using cartoon characters.
Using POWTOON.
Another tool I like is an infographic tool called PIKTOCHART. So it allows students. It's just something different than PowerPoint. And it's web-based, and many of these tools also allow for the sharing and uploading and linking to among their colleagues or submitting. Just another way if you want to test understanding, at least that's what I did in this class. This particular tool also allows you to put this in presentation mode, so it has the sense of sort of a slide that you can advance. So it comes out, just to show you how it displays this particular presentation would be. These are again, it's template based, and this particular template, you can see it allows for a flowchart type approach. So you see that this flowchart actually continues and could also be used for describing a process. So
ZAPTION is a way for you to take a video and create a lesson. So, right there at the beginning, the creator of this lesson said, what just happened here? And why is that image in? What gender stereotypes? This isn't the cultural, I couldn't find one, but I thought it was still powerful. What cultural stereotypes are being represented there? And so your students then get to engage with that right then and there. And not only that, but it captures that for you. They can then send that as an email to you. Okay. So what is that portraying, right? About typical masculinity, masculine stereotypes. So you see how it is doing what we want to do when we're in class, right? You want to be able to stop those videos and get that discussion. What's going on here? What's happening? We do that face to face. This is the first tool I've seen that would allow me to do that online in that same way. Isn't that cool? So let's go on to the end. So right here at the end, you show my responses. So now, whatever responses I've had, I can cast here and I can make those changes. But should you want to do connections with a global community, and I'm talking about more old-fashioned kind of connections where you connect with an instructor, say at a university in Mexico, and have your students interact with them. This is a website to help you get those connections. It's called ePals. And like I said, it does has catered in the past more to elementary, but if I go to find connections, well, there are experiences you can create, by the way, activities like create your own flag and that sort of thing. So I could just filter for higher ed on here. And when I do, it's going to give me universities around the world where teachers have just signed up to say, hey, I'm interested in doing something between my students who speak Spanish and an English classroom around culture, to talk about culture. It's called ePads, which is kind of cool. But first I want to show you a more traditional tool called Google Lit Trips. This one is a Google Lit Trip on the book called Writing Freedom. And so here's when you start it, and the way this works is you download the file that is the lit trip. So again, it's kind of a layer on top of Google Earth. So you download that, and or students create it right inside of Google Earth. But those instructions are all on that website I showed you. If I click on that, double click on that, it actually takes me using Google Earth to the location in the story where the story begins. You've got questions in there that you can ask. You can develop this so it could be developed by you, or I've actually had a lot of success with students developing these. And if you're concerned about it, we had middle school students developing really amazing ones of these in Fresno Unified. Images of what it would have looked like in those days. So you can see you create a multimedia experience here for the reader of this novel, or the reader of the novel creates a multimedia experience to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.